Om Shanti sister, how are you?
Om Shanti, brother. I'm good. And you?
Yeah, I'm also very fine. And today we are going to speak about a very interesting topic about why Hatha yogis always stress on bringing focus onto your breath. They say breathing is everything. The way you breathe extends your life. It decreases your chance of getting diseases. Um, and they say it gives peace. And finally, they say that's the way to attain salvation. So, what do you think about it, sister? Because
First of all, brother,
you have experience
yeah,
in that. Yeah.
first
Mm,
of all, I want to say that I already have experience in
mm,
breathing techniques.
okay.
I was doing that for 5 years before coming
Wow.
to knowledge.
Mm,
So every day I
mm,
was doing those breathing techniques and I
mm,
know what it means.
mm,
Uh, Connected to breath and emotions, it's
mm,
very connected.
mm,
The way you breathe,
mm,
when you breathe like to when you breathe like speed,
mm,
it means you can be like excited or
mm.
you maybe run too much, so your breathing becomes speed
Oh,
like,
oh,
you know.
okay, okay, okay.
Or for example, when you're sad or something, you can breathe very like
Mm,
hard, like it's hard for you to catch a breath.
yes.
So uh, the technique that I was doing, it was like to control the emotions through breathing.
Wow.
And when you breathe,
Mm,
you control your breath,
mm,
and on that way
mm,
you are changing your emotional state. For example,
mm.
I don't breathe the way I feel I want to breathe.
Okay.
I breathe on the way that I have a technique
Mm,
for cleaning my emotions through breathing. So if
wow.
I
Mm,
was doing those techniques,
mm,
and it was like you breathe fast or you breathe slow, but you do it intentionally.
mm,
So it doesn't mean that I'm breathing the way I want to breathe, but I'm breathing like consciously.
mm,
And what happens during those techniques? I didn't even know because I had too much energy, to be honest.
mm.
Through those breathing techniques, I did get too much energy
Wow.
because breath is actually giving energy to body.
Yes.
But I think there is also happening some maybe subconsciousness is also waking up, and maybe there is something happening that you cannot even explain because if you don't have knowledge, you just have feelings
Yes.
of that what you are doing.
Mm,
But when you don't have knowledge, you can create more karma through that. You can have more energy, you can do more not so good things because you don't have emotion like you should have,
mm,
and you don't know what is happening inside of you, and then you can create even more karma because you don't have knowledge what is happening,
mm.
and you can on some way control your own emotions. But yeah, I don't know, did you understand anything while
Yeah,
I'm
I can
saying?
I can understand because in essence what you are saying is usually our breath differs based on our emotions, but you can by having control over your breathing technique, you can have control over your emotion. So it works in a reverse way.
Yes, yes,
So that's
yes,
what you are saying, and it works. It
yes,
it does work.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Uh, Okay, but do you remember to use that breathing technique when you are depressed, when you are at that moment of getting depressed, of meeting someone whom you hate, someone who have betrayed you? At that moment, you will be having the memory of him instead of trying to focus on the breathing, right? You get
Yeah,
carried away easily. Hmm.
the problem is you cannot even control your mind. You
Yes.
cannot control
Yeah.
your thinking and the way of the behaving. You're only controlling
Mm.
the way you feel. But
Mm.
in the end, you can you can create more karma and
Yeah. It's
you can feel
only,
bad.
yeah, it's only after the
It's only
damage is
temporary.
done you will go for breathing to make it stable, right?
Uh, for example, if I really feel destabilized and bad and everything, I can
Yeah.
do my breathing techniques and I
Yeah.
can feel better that day. I can do things better or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. That's only after you realize that you are destable.
Yeah.
Till then, you have no idea what's going on because we have not control over our mind.
Yeah, because you don't
Mm.
do it for
Mm.
developing better behavior. You're just
Mm.
doing it to have more energy. Like
Mm.
instead of drinking coffee, you breathe. But what I wanted to say
Mm.
is I lost the thought. I had something in my mind, but I lost the thought. I wanted to say how important is focus. For
Mm.
example, if you breathe, but you don't have firm focus, what you want to do and
Mm.
what is your goal in life and
Mm.
goal in a spiritual
Mm.
term,
Mm.
then you're just gonna be like water going all over the place. So
Mm.
you really need focus. So that's why it's important. This kind of meditation that we are doing, Raja Yoga meditation, is very good because you increase your focus. Then
Yes.
you can focus. You
Mm.
can choose one point, one thing in your life where you want to bring your focus in.
That's it. We know what we need to focus. There, they focus just on breathing. That too, when they are doing sadhana, not at all times.
But I
Mm.
don't see nothing bad in breathing to
Mm.
say, but we
Mm.
should not like
Mm.
overuse it.
Yes.
It's nothing bad in breathing
Mm.
if you are aware. Even when you do sometimes meditation, we breathe all the time anyway.
Yes.
So even when we do some meditation or something, we
Mm.
check our breathing, we check our breath.
Yeah.
But of course, we should not overuse it like
Mm.
nothing else. We should never overuse things.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it anymore for years. So yeah.
Right. So in one type of meditation, they focus on the controlled breathing. In another type, they don't control breathing; they just watch their breath. So they don't have any control. They don't modify it. They just uh, bring their attention below their nose, and they were just uh, concentrating on the breath, on what's happening. So they think it's a way to have control over the mind. So will they succeed using breathing techniques to have control over their mind?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I only think it can work temporary,
yeah,
but
that's the thing.
in a long term, you have to change
Mm,
inside,
yeah.
not through the outside force.
And what about those Hatha yogis saying that concentrating on breathing is a way to attain salvation, to attain nirvana?
To be honest,
Mm,
to be in purity and everything, it's easier when you use those techniques because then you feel more powerful in more powerful.
mm, yeah.
But I don't think so. I don't think that is the way of salvation. We
Yeah.
have to change our behavior and to change
Mm,
our mind and to the real salvation is actually
mm,
to feel soul consciousness and to be connected to God and not to be too much connected to material. But if you are doing those breathing techniques to attain more fame, be more popular, or something that is not salvation, that is just going deeper into the drama.
yes. People mainly use that to attain materialistic gain nowadays. They think meditation is a way to attain materialistic gain instead of connecting it to spirituality. They think spirituality itself is a way to attain material gain. That's how nowadays gurus are teaching, because everybody is going after materialistic achievements, so they make use of it.
Of course, when you
Mm.
start breathing, when you're doing those techniques, of course you have nice feelings
Mm.
because our body is full of stress.
Mm.
And when you start breathing and everything, you feel like you are releasing the pain that is
Wow.
inside of your body, that you put so much stress inside, and that is good point of breathing.
Mm.
But the bad point is that not to overuse it.
Mm.
That's what I'm saying. And it's
Okay,
not all, it should not be like all our spiritual practice. We have to have more.
mm.
It's not enough.
Is
We
it
have to
possible?
have connection with God and
Mm.
knowledge.
Yeah. Is it possible for you to recollect those breathing techniques and share with us what you were doing?
Uh, yeah, can you pause the video?
Okay, sister, teach us your breathing technique. Uh-huh.
Okay, I can show
Mm.
you some breathing techniques that I
Okay,
used to do
okay. Mm.
while I was in that kind of practice.
Okay.
You probably heard about this breathing technique connected to the nose.
Yeah, they say pranayama. Mm. So inhale through one nose and leave it to exhale through another nose. Okay.
Yes, you
Mm.
inhale, then you stop the breathing, then
Mm.
you exhale.
Okay. So that.
You can calm your mind with that, you know, if
Oh.
you are
So how many
under a
times?
lot of stress.
So how long should we hold the breath in? Does it?
Depends how stressed.
Uh,
No.
mm,
I don't think this is with counting, but probably. But I have more that is connected to counting.
mm,
This is like you
mm.
put on your hips the
Okay.
arms,
Okay.
and then you go like this.
Mm. Oh.
You breathe in
Mm,
4,
mm,
you hold your breath 6,
okay. Mm,
you count to 6, and
mm,
then you exhale
mm.
6,
Oh.
and then you again hold the breath 4, and then
Mm,
you inhale 4,
mm,
and like that more times. And then you put arms here and do the same like that, but just your arms are here. You're more focused on this area. And in
mm,
the end,
mm.
you put your arms here
Okay.
and you are also doing the same.
Same technique with different posture.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then there is like one technique. It's
mm,
very popular. Maybe you heard about that
okay.
technique.
Mm,
Uh, it's called,
mm,
oh my God, my brain doesn't work.
mm,
It's
sister. Okay. Mm,
you put
mm,
your arms like this,
okay.
then you breathe in, and you put your arm like this,
Oh, okay, okay.
up
While pushing,
in
we'll
the
be
air, and
breathing
it's
in.
all open. Yeah,
Okay. Mm, wow.
and
Mm,
then you hit here,
mm,
and all from your nose, all the
mm.
things come, and then you breathe with all your stomach.
Okay.
It means you're using all your body to breathe. Usually we breathe with half of
Yeah.
our lungs, and if we really want to breathe, we should breathe from the stomach,
Mm,
and that's like,
mm, mm,
yeah, that gives you a lot of energy actually, and it can also help you to
mm.
move. If you have something in your nose, you can
Wow, we can
remove
clear
it.
the nose. Okay.
Yeah, you can clear the nose with that
Wow.
technique. It's
Okay.
very good. It gives you a lot of energy.
Okay.
And there was also one technique
Mm,
that was the main technique,
mm,
where you control your breathing. First, you
mm,
breathe like slow,
mm.
like 10 or 12 times. Then
Okay.
you breathe a little bit faster,
Mm,
same 10, 12 times. Then you breathe or maybe 20. I think 20 times because I didn't do it like for years.
Okay.
And then third, you do like this,
Mm,
like 40 times. You breathe very fast, and then you repeat that process
mm.
3 times. Again, I go slow,
Oh.
then then and
Okay.
the third time the same. And in the end,
Mm,
you do few very slow breaths, and then
mm,
you like go into the sadhana. And
okay.
in the beginning of this breathing technique, you sing Om 3 times because Om is also balancing your
Mm,
chakras. And you're
okay.
singing Om,
Oh,
Om,
we have to
the
chant that
sound Om.
mantra, Om mantra.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Oh.
that's it. It goes like for 30, 40 minutes. And then when you finish that, you feel energized. And
Mm,
yeah.
okay. So nice. You have
So I
really.
used to do it like for 5 years, I tell you.
Okay.
But I think drama and karma
Mm,
uh, have another plans for me. So I change. I just,
mm,
when I
became.
saw that I cannot solve some problems only with those techniques,
Mm,
I changed my spiritual practice.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. And recently, in one Murli that we study through Brahmakumaris, God says about one thing. Hatha yogis, in the beginning, they were nobody knows about God, but they think God is a huge form of light, very big, bigger than this universe. That's what they have um, thoughts about God in their mind. So they would think of him as a huge ball of light all the time. But after getting this knowledge, we know that is not God, but that's the actual place of residence of God. So this world will be the golden red colored light world, which is like a huge ball of fire. And that's where God resides as a tiny point of light, so tiny that nobody can see either through physical eyes or by using any scientific instrument. Not only God, even we souls are that tiny. We souls reside here as a point of light. That's why Hindus apply tilak here. So Hatha Yogis, so we need to know about this drama, 5,000 year drama called one Kalpa, the first half of which was heaven, and the last half where we live right now is hell. That's why we are surrounded by all sorts of pain and sorrow. Only in the last 100 years before the destruction of this world, God Himself comes from His supreme abode, enters an old man's body because He doesn't take birth like us, and starts giving knowledge through that old man, and he names that old man as Brahma. Whoever listens to the words of God directly through Brahma's mouth, they are called Brahma Kumars and Kumaris, because we are also sons and daughters of Brahma, not only to God Shiva. So God Shiva is called Allah by Muslims and Heavenly Godfather by Christians. God is just one. So God says, in heaven, we don't worship, we don't remember God, we don't do any Hatha Yoga or Raja Yoga, or no yoga there, because we will be so healthy. What's the need for doing anything? And also, we will be blessed with overflowing wealth. And also, we are blessed with the lifespan of minimum 150 years. So, there won't be any disease. So, that's the reason we wouldn't worry about doing anything. We wouldn't even think about God. So that was heaven for the first 2,500 years. Even our palaces were made of golden bricks. We were that rich for first 2,500 years. And in the last 2,500 years, especially in the beginning, when hell come into being, when this world is getting changed into hell, that's when we start committing sins uh, in the form of vices like lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. In heaven, we have no idea what those vices were. Even childbirth happens due to the thoughts of their parents of having a child, and there's no question of having physical contact between them. So that's the reason the residents of heaven are worshipped as deities even now by Hindus. They are not gods, but they were the residents of heaven. Now, when it becomes hell, we become body conscious, while in heaven we were soul conscious. We consider ourselves as soul and we also interact with others as a soul. Of course, everyone would be so beautiful there, but still they won't be attracted towards each other because the soul is so powerful. The reason nowadays people are so attached to everything so quickly is because they don't have that power. So God says, now, in the end, it is because your soul has no power that you have no power to conquer those five vices: lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego, because of which you are suffering in the form of diseases, natural calamities, conflicts between families. Everything is going on mainly because your soul has no power. Now you need to remember God as a point of light as much as possible after considering yourself to be the soul, not as a body. God is the father of souls, not for the body. It's perishable. Body is perishable. Soul is imperishable. So whatever karma, action we perform in one birth, that will be carried to the next birth. If we have committed sinful acts in our past life, obviously it will be carried to the next birth. Uh, so God says, now the world is going to get destroyed, but the good news is it is going to be renewed into heaven. There will be no trace of vices, no trace of lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. Now you have to purify yourself like that. The only way for that is to consider yourself as a soul and to remember God, the Supreme Soul, as a point of light as much as possible, no matter what you do. You don't have to sit in a specific posture. You can remember God while walking, while eating, while bathing, while whatever action you perform. It is possible for you to be in remembrance of God because He is our Father, Teacher, Guru, and you can establish all relationships with Him: husband, lover, wife, uh, child, siblings, whatever you relationship you love, have that with only God, because God, the world is going to be destroyed. If you have attachment to others, when they get destroyed right before your eyes, you are going to suffer pain. So that's the reason God says, have attachment with only me, because God is not going to be destroyed. So we need to remember Him. And in that particular Murli recently, God says, Hatha Yoga comes in the beginning of hell. So that's a separate religion called the religion of renunciation, renunciates. Uh, so they call Hindu saints. It's not Hindu actually. It's different from Hindu because Hindus get married, saints don't. So that's a separate religion in itself. So they create Hatha Yoga as a method to attain God because they don't want to take birth again. They want to escape this rebirth because they feel this world is sorrowful when it was not that sorrowful in the beginning. So that's when they remember God as a big bundle of fire instead of as a point of light because they don't know how God is. Even we didn't know until God Himself comes and gives this knowledge in this last 100 years. So,
If you don't know all the
mm,
drama and the
mm,
cycle, if you don't know what was,
mm,
what is now, and why it's happening now, and what will be,
mm,
then you will feel just the suffering because you don't have information that it should be like that, and
yes,
then you feel like suffering is like a normal state of mind. That's
mm,
why you need information why it's happening, and that it's like degradation time and all the soul are degraded.
mm,
That's why we need all those informations to know that the suffering is not really our real nature.
yes. So that it is because we become body conscious that we suffer. It is because we consider ourselves to be this body, we get attracted to opposite gender. It is because we see each other as bodies. We remember whatever he did while he is in this body. But he is a soul beyond that body. All souls were pure in the beginning. Only if you consider each other as soul, you will see their beginning. While they were so pure, like God, they were so loving. But now, after taking several rebirths, because we lost all the power, we become addicted to these five vices and sensual pleasures that makes us to behave selfish. But
I
we,
think that's
mm,
why Baba say also in Murlis, he
mm,
often says like,
mm,
don't see one person, oh, I have to serve this person, I have to serve this person, because he knows. He know that we're gonna take that sometimes as excuse to be more close to someone. He know our nature.
yes,
Sometimes if you are a girl, you will think, oh, I have to serve this boy, I have to serve this
mm,
soul brother
yes,
that we use as a that we really want to get closer to that soul.
yes,
He knows our
mm,
little sneaky
mm,
ways of thinking. So that's why he say, don't think,
mm,
oh, I have to really serve this one or I have to really serve this one. No,
mm,
it's just Baba serving through us, and
mm,
dual nature is really tricky.
yeah, that's sister. Say sister.
I was speaking
Mm,
about
mm,
how usually we are very sneaky.
yes,
The mind is sneaky, and we can
yeah,
think, oh, I have to serve this soul.
mm,
This soul is very important to me, but that it can also be on body consciousness level. We
that's
can like
true.
someone or
Yeah,
want to be close to them, and then we think, oh, we have to
mm,
serve there.
yeah. Even for spiritual service, there's a possibility of getting attached. So that's what God says as golden cage. Whether it's made of gold or silver, it's still a cage. You should never get it to the cage. God has come to uh, come out of the cage, but people out of body consciousness they don't want to get out of the cage. So that's nice. And
It's not they don't want to, they don't know. They
yeah,
don't know.
they don't know. That's true. And also regarding breathing, I was saying people Hatha yogis they were remembering God as a huge light form, but
As
that's
Brahm element.
yeah, that's the place of residence of God. Brahm. Brahm is not God; it's the place of residence of God. God is a very tiny point of light. That's the reason we can't see Him. But He
And that's
comes.
the reason why there is
Mm,
no focus. There is
yeah,
the reason why there is no focus.
yeah, that's
Because when
true.
you see
Mm.
one point, then you are focused more.
Yeah, that's true. No, but initially they were pure. Hatha yogis were pure, so they have that concentration power. They didn't get attracted to everything. As a result, because of their full concentration and love on this Brahm element, they feel even their breath is filled with happiness in the beginning. So it is not the breath that gave them happiness, it is the remembrance of Brahm that gave them the happiness. But as time goes, people forget what to remember. So that's why nowadays they teach, Hatha Yogis teach, just be as you are. You don't have to do any sadhana. Just be uh, without doing anything.
Go with the flow.
Yeah,
Go with the flow.
go with the flow. And also sit. What to meditate? You don't have to meditate. You don't have to think anything. If you want, you can just see where the mind goes. That's what happening everywhere. Usually, people say goes with the mind, right? So they say it is the meditation, and the reason they bring breath into it is in the early stage they felt even the breath to be filled with happiness. Now, as time goes, they know about the breathing, but they forget what they have to remember to make the breathing happiness. So they now focus only on the breathing. They leave the essence, they catch hold of the result. And also another thing is they were so intoxicated with remembrance of Brahm element. Now they don't know how to get that intoxication back. So they use intoxicating substance, drugs, to make them intoxicated. That's what agoris, several gurus do to feel that intoxication because they don't know how God is. But God now asks us to remember God as a point of light as much as possible without remembering anything. Be in the family. Don't, you are not Hatha Yogi to go to forest by leaving the family. You have to be in the family. You have to carry out the daily routines. Nonetheless, make sure your mind is connected with God. Have all relationship with just God. So he's not only the father of me, but also to my wife, to my kid, to my father, to my grandchildren, to everybody. So if everybody is a child of God, then everybody is none but a brother of me. There's no other relationship. Whether you are familiar with them or if you are unfamiliar with somebody, they both should be treated equally. That is possible only when you see them as soul. If you see them as a body, you will definitely not treat them equally. You know, he belongs to my family, he belongs to my caste, he belongs to my religion, he belongs to my race. So obviously there will be discrimination. So God says, just consider yourself to be soul. Don't worry about others except giving this knowledge to them. And make sure you are connected with just one God. When you progress in this practice, you will finally realize that even your breath will be filled with happiness. So that's the power of purity, power of concentration with one God. So that's possible. But just by concentrating on breathing, your sin will not be absolved. It is only by remembering God as a point of light as much as possible, your sins will be burnt. How do you know that? You will no longer be attracted to external things, to sensual pleasures, to these five vices: lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. But that doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and effort. But you will definitely see a change month after month. Even those who are near you, they will feel the change and they will say, they will see you surprised how you were and how you are. What's the magic? The magic is one Baba. That's it. We no longer concentrate on breathing. It takes care of whether you focus or not, it's going to happen. It's an involuntary activity. We don't have to do anything. But once you keep your mind calm by detaching yourself from everything and attaching yourself to one God, there is no reason to worry. You don't even have this body consciousness. You don't even consider this body to be yours. Then what's there to worry? So you will always be happy. So obviously, however breathe should be at the time of happiness, it would be like that all the time. So happiness doesn't come from breathing. Happiness comes by your state of mind. And since we depend only on external things for happiness so far, they sooner or later will definitely deceive you. But we are attaching to the imperishable God who never deceives you. The more you remember him, more your sins will be absolved. More purer the soul gets. Once the soul gets 100% pure, you guess what? You will experience blissfulness throughout the day because the true nature of the soul itself is blissfulness and peacefulness. That's how the residents of heaven, called deities, they were always blissful and peaceful. They did not depend on the external beautiful person or things or anything for the happiness. So what we've been discussing so far is Raja Yoga. So, other than this, other than remembering God as a point of light, whatever you listen to, they all come under one category called Hatha Yoga. They are the ways created by humans to attain God, but unfortunately, humans can never attain God
Yeah.
by their own effort, by reading, no matter how many scriptures they read, no matter what sadhana they do, what mantra they chant, no matter how many million times they chant, their sins will not be absolved. They cannot attain God. God Himself comes. You don't have to make effort to uh, reach God. God has come already. The only thing you need to do is to recognize God through His teachings. You can go to the nearest Brahmakumari center. You can listen to the Murli, which is absolutely free of cost because it is our own Father who teaches us this. You can also Google it yourself because you can find Murlis in several languages. That's the direct knowledge of
But
God.
first the course of 7 days.
Yeah, you need to take course of 7 days, which we have covered here within few minutes because it's the knowledge about the cycle and soul and the supreme soul.
The
Yeah,
soul sometimes needs the time to absorb the
also,
knowledge,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it takes time.
to understand.
Yeah, yeah. After getting, we have created 7 days course video in English. Uh, you will find it in the description below. You can make use of it, and you have to remember God as a point of light as much as possible. Then you don't have to worry about breathing. Uh, you don't have to worry about doing hatha yogis. Uh, they perform different difficult asanas, which is impossible for older people to do. It is impossible for women to do, most women to do. But nonetheless, whether they are fruitful, it's a big question. But here, your sins will be absolved, and also, when you are happy all the time, your diseases get cured very soon because God says there is no superpower tonic like happiness. And we ourselves become the source of happiness by being in remembrance of one God all the time. So that is what we want to share in this video. And you would like to add something, sister?
Uh, yeah, we were speaking actually about
Mm,
hatha yoga and hatha yogis, and I
yeah.
was this morning just watching the video
Mm,
about that the most burnout people in
mm.
America are yoga teachers.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
yeah, because they
that's true.
have to
Mm,
try to be peaceful and everything and try to act on the role,
mm,
but then it's hard for them to actually to stay
mm.
balanced
True.
because they try to
Yeah.
hold on to the role,
Mm.
to play the role and do the yoga, but they are also like have so many other things in their
It's
life.
very
So
true. Yesterday, I came across a Facebook profile of a healer who says, enough with healing. I can't even heal myself. That's true.
I remember myself during my early
Mm.
like spiritual investigation. I was written like heal the healers, heal the healers.
That's true. That's true. Uh,
Yeah,
but here, by remembering God as a point of light, not only our sins get absolved, we become eligible to enter heaven, which is the main goal here. Hatha yogis, they don't have any goal. They have the goal of merging with Brahm element, which is impossible. Everybody has to take rebirth till the end of the world. It's only during the end of the world, after getting the knowledge from God, that we know everything about this world and God. Only when we remember God as a point of light, along with this golden red colored light world, we will be able to reach there. So, till then, nobody knows about God. So no matter how hard they stay pure, they do sadhanas, breathing techniques, still they'll be taking rebirth, still they will be descending in their stage. They won't ascend. It is only by remembering God that we ascend to the stage that we were 5,000 years before. So we become deities again. If you make more effort, you can even claim the highest status of heaven, which is Lakshmi Narayan status. They were the kings and queen. They were the king and queen of heaven in the beginning. You can also be that. So all status is open for you. All you need to do is to remember God. Nothing more. There's no difficulty. God doesn't give you any difficulty. He doesn't ask you to observe fasting, doesn't even ask you to chant mantra. God says in a recent Murli, you don't even have to move your hand or leg. Just by being at home, you are claiming the highest status of the world. You can become Sri Krishna. It's possible. Just you have to consider yourself to be soul and remember God as a point of light. No matter what's happening around you, it shouldn't bother you because you are not in any way connected to them except that they are our soul brothers. That's it. We can't do anything. They have to pay for their past sins. So if they belong to our family, of course we have to take care of them, detach with detachment, so that if anything happens to them, okay, they are suffering due to their karma. Why should you suffer? So that's why God says, detach yourself before showing love to them. You should be loving to each other. At the same time, it should be a detached love, or else you will be in big trouble. That's the reason of heartbreaks nowadays among youngsters. Okay. You'd like to add, sister?
Yeah, I totally agree
Hmm.
with you.
Okay.
And
Hmm.
how it's important to be detached
Yes.
observer.
Yes.
I have to check what time is it.
Okay.
It's very important to be detached
Hmm.
from everyone because today they think love is attachment,
Hmm.
and there is so much wantings from the other person, and it's like a cage, like it
That's
said.
true.
You're in a
Yeah.
cage.
Yeah.
If you establish some relationship, you actually have to follow the rules of other person, and the other person have to follow your rules. But if you are detached
Hmm.
observer, and if you understand that is just the role, and you don't get too attached in what is happening,
Hmm.
you understand the soul, you understand the state of mind of that soul, but you are not like getting also to the same level of thinking. I
That's
think
true.
that's important
Hmm.
because Baba
Hmm.
say to us, remember me, remember me.
Hmm.
And if you want to establish a relationship with someone, they want us to remember them.
Hmm.
But we already know that we want to remember Baba. So
Yes.
already for them, that is like, oh, you don't remember me. You don't think about me like I think about you. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Because
that's not my
yeah,
goal.
yeah, the only person who is worthy enough to love me is none but one Baba, one God. So we are calling God as Baba, not human Babas. We are calling God Shiva as Baba. Baba means father. That's it. Just to
Father
clarify.
and the mother.
And the mother.
Ba,
Yeah, he's our
father and the
everything.
mother.
Okay, sister. Okay, we had a nice time sharing very important points. The difference between Hatha Yoga and Raj Yoga, and you decide yourself which from which you can receive more benefits. Om Shanti. Thanks for watching.
Om
Thank you
Shanti.
for spending your valuable time with us, sister. Om Shanti.
Thank you,
Thank you,
brother.
sister.